No? Okay. Just kidding.
If I'm just gonna get it again, why am I gonna get rid of it?
Oh,
If I
no.
just
Rock.
let my inside crust up and fall off.
Hey, you can't
Some
take it
people are
with
into
you.
that.
My prostate is like a nice, fine apple crumble.
Mm. Well, I hope to talk about that and more over the next, half hour. Shall we?
Yeah. Do you want to?
Sure. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Good Judy. Today, we have the very talented and creative and hilarious and soon to be performing in Atlanta on September 11th. Ooh, that's a hard day for everyone. Anyways, give it up for Sakura.
Oh my God. Hi, everybody. Oh my God. You can't see it right now on the Zoom call, but I actually flew in on a parachute. I came through a window, unmuted my microphone, and put on some pants.
It was a stunning entrance.
I did like 20 flips too. If you guys want to send me any tips via Venmo or PayPal, please proceed to do so. I would really appreciate that.
Make sure you label it as flip tips.
Flip tips.
Now, everything about that was correct, except for the part where you said you put on pants.
I know. I'm actually helicoptering right now in front of our Zoom camera. My 15-inch cock just flying in the wind. I'm actually propelling myself into the air with the sheer velocity that my giant foreskinned member is flying at right now. So you might have to add an 18+ rating on this podcast because it's too spicy.
The spicier, the better. It actually sounds like renewable energy, what you're doing over there.
Yeah, it's the wind turbines. Wow.
Oh my goodness. So how are you?
I'm doing really good. I decided to hydrate for the first day in like 40 days. No, I'm just kidding. No, I drink water all the time, but I'm feeling really, really good recently. I recently moved to LA. I moved from San Francisco just because I like my neighbors to be a bit more crass and just really, really hot.
Like sexy hot?
No, physically hot.
Sweaty.
Desert hot.
Yeah. Isn't San
Panini
Francisco
hot.
like cold?
San
It is
Francisco was
cold.
very cold. But it did help because everyone had, when you do like nipple pumps to get your nipples bigger, everyone was constantly like that because it was so cold. The only thing is it's not the most pretty place to have a scrotum out in the open. It's all
luckily
shriveled up like a brain.
Yeah, you know how to put that away though, if you need to.
A Staples.
Just tuck it.
Yeah, I fold it in like a sock.
I've seen people do that.
Yeah. I tuck it all the way up and then I put it over my head and it turns into a bucket hat because I'm trying to relate.
Wow. And you just vibe?
I'm just vibing right there.
I'm so down with y'all.
Oh my God. So,
thanks everyone for listening.
Were you always this imaginative, your whole life as a child? Were you very creative?
So yeah, I've been pretty creative ever since I was a child, mostly because I think two reasons. One, because we were very poor and poor people can't afford to like go to the movies or anything like that. So we kind of had to rely on our own imagination to keep ourselves occupied. And also two, I didn't really grow up with my parents. I grew up with my grandparents who could never really like play with us, or they're always too busy trying to like provide for us wherever they could. So I was raised by television, specifically cartoons. So that kind of creativity kind of permeates into my adult life.
Totally. Where are you from?
So I'm from San Jose, which is relatively close to San Francisco, just the Bay Area. I was like, I don't want to say I was born in a swamp, but I was born close to a swamp, close to like a bayou-y place where I was born. Or the place I lived was near like an animal sanctuary. So we were kind of like away from like corner stores and everything. We lived in a mobile home park. So it was very just out there. We had
Wow.
airwaves and Tang. That was all we had out there.
Damn. So were you cross-dressing as a child?
I would say the first time that I like cross-dressed as a child was you ever just are left in your house alone? Just
Mhm.
like you're like, I'm 6 years old. Why was I left in charge of the house by myself? There's knives and other cutlery here and many outlets in which I can stick them into. But instead of doing that, once I got left home alone and I boiled ramen and I forgot it was there. And by the time it was cold, I took the noodles and I put them on my head like a wig.
Oh,
And I
that's so
whipped it around.
precious.
Oh my God. And then I didn't take a shower, but I just took the noodles off. But I do remember doing that because I was literally at home and I had noodles on my head and we had like weird like kind of like stick tiles on the floor. And I remember them being really slippery. And they were dripping down like broth from my head, and I remember walking through the kitchen and I totally slipped. I could have died cross-dressing with noodles on my head as like a full 6 or 7-year-old. I don't remember. The head trauma is still
Yeah.
That is
still
so
pretty
fierce,
relevant.
though.
That's a beautiful image.
And I was also just like really, I mean, you know, when you're 6 or 7, you really just feel it. You really just feel your fantasy. I had no
Mhm.
idea what drag it was at the time, but I was feeling my full like anime heroine fantasy.
Totally.
Because ever since I was a kid, I know a lot of people are like, I wanted to be like Barbie, Jessica Rabbit. For me, I was like, not so much like Sailor Moon, but I was like, I want to be a samurai pizza cat. Like that's an actual anime for those of you guys out there that want to come for me. There's
Is it
an actual
really?
anime called Samurai. Yeah, the theme song was like Go Go Samurai Pizza Cats Go or something. It was really, really, really weird. I'm very much into like niche 90s anime.
Love. Oh my God. So then was your aesthetic in drag always like that from the beginning, or is it something that you found along the way?
Well, before doing drag, I was pursuing a career in animation and illustration, specifically with like a kind of like anime manga flair. And after that career failed, I started pursuing drag. So I kind of took those personas and characters that I had created from like my portfolio and I applied them to my face. So I've always had this kind of mindset to go into like a cartoonish anime route. It might not have always reflected on my face because the first time I went out in drag was like unpowdered BB cream, some mascara, blue eyeshadow, and maybe like lip gloss. I looked like that makeover on Glow Up. And I felt it. I felt so good. I was walking out there. I had a white tube top and denim shorts with one testicle hanging out of each side, and you couldn't tell me nothing. Nothing. I was gonna have sex with that guy handing out flowers in the club, and you couldn't stop me.
And did you?
No, I didn't.
Oh.
Yeah, he had standards, which was very unfortunate for me.
Damn. Was this in San Francisco?
This was in Mountain View was my first club that I ever performed at. And it was like a karaoke / biker bar right outside of Moffett Field, which is where NASA is. So there's just rocket ships getting made in the background and just me cross-dressing and doing a half split for bikers doing karaoke.
Oh my God.
That's the dream, baby.
I know. You know what? Tu Wong Fu should have been written about me.
I mean, you're describing some very cinematic situations.
Kind of, yeah. When I do A Star Is Born, that's my opening club scene.
Yeah, you know, they remake it every like 30 years or so.
Exactly. So when I'm decrepit, then they can finally tell my story. I can finally tell my story. You know, when I was a young cross-dresser, I used to perform in Moffett Field with karaoke and biker boys.
Oh
Only
my
mascara
God.
and BB cream to my name, I did.
Wait,
That's what
so
I'll sound like at that age.
did you study theater, drama, high school theater kid?
I was a high school theater kid. And by the time I had graduated, I was fucking done with theater. Because the kind of nonsense that happens in Glee, the kind of nonsense that's like very, very secondhand embarrassing, maybe go two steps back in like gay rights kind of embarrassing, that happens in theater. So and by the time I had graduated, Glee was just starting to come up. So people had already started asking the question, oh my God, you're gay? I love Glee. Do you watch Glee? You know, they were already starting to ask that question. So I was like, you know what? Maybe we don't do theater anymore. But I did do it in high school. I played a couple roles. I did a background role in Suzical the Musical. I was Snoopy in You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown.
Oh.
I was a prince in Into the Woods, and I got to kiss a girl. And the first time we kissed, we smacked our teeth really hard into each other. That was always fun. And she needed chapstick. Because if I kiss her and then my lips came out smoother afterwards, then there's a problem. Then we need to talk about the lip balm. And I think the last role that I did was I was Judas in Godspell. And I remember vividly, I hated the person who was Jesus. I hated him so much.
You hate Jesus? Oh my God.
No. I love Jesus. I'm a good Christian woman.
Good.
I'm not a good Christian woman. Yeah, but Jesus is pretty cool. I nothing against him. But I hated the guy who did Jesus. So there was a scene where we couldn't like crucify people on stage because, you know, we're like in high school and stuff. Like, what are you gonna do? So we had like this little fake chain fence in the back, and we would I would have to tie his wrists onto the fence with like red ribbon. And I remember our very last show, I was like, he was really bugging me because it was like you know, like super straight people, like that kind of energy.
I've never met one of those before.
We don't vibe with that here. But I did a double knot on both sides. And so the scene is only supposed to last like 5 seconds. And I tied it so tight and made the knot so intricate that it took 2 minutes for them to get him down. They kept trying to undo the knot and they had to go off stage and get scissors. And I'm supposed to be on the steps, like lamenting, like, I can't believe what I did. And I was supposed to be like crying, but the whole time I was crying because I was laughing.
Evil.
So don't leave your stuff backstage with Rockamole.
I don't manifest that kind of energy anymore. I'm definitely more of a supportive sister now. I would never ever do that now.
Did you have a wig on?
No, I had long hair.
Oh.
I had long hair and it was like to my shoulder and it looked really bad. It looked really bad. My hair was already dry from my pseudo emo phase from straightening it and never moisturizing it. So a slight breeze could have probably taken out my whole scalp.
Oh my God.
How are you so funny?
Like I said before, when I was 5, I got struck by lightning, and ever since then, no, I think personally, I since I resonate so much with cartoons and like that kind of slapstick, it really just comes forth in my day-to-day life, and also, I'm not very fond of people who are like overly serious. Like if you are like a side eye catty gay and like all you can do is just criticize other people and never have a good time, I probably don't like you. In fact, we're gonna fight if that's you. You know what? Put down that cigarette.
Oh my God.
Did you go ahead, Brigitte?
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, did you experience any of that in your time on the Race of Drags?
Like with other girls who like didn't kind of vibe with the energy.
Yeah, just took themselves too seriously.
There were a couple girls who were very serious during our filming because they really felt passionate about the whole experience. But overall, I actually really got along well with all of my sisters. They all passed the vibe check, which was very important to me, especially because like the people, they always tell you the people that you're gonna really resonate with are the people that are on your season, like your sisters from your season. Like they're the people you're always gonna remember. They all share the same experience as you. So I was very happy that most of them didn't really take themselves too seriously. I mean, you've seen the people on this cast, like Jada Essence Hall with her famous "I'm drunk" moment, and she, you know, she's always on Twitter with like 1 or 2 eyelashes on, maybe sober. Crystal Method is on there. Like everyone on this on my season is a clown. Is definitely a clown. Even the most composed people, like Gigi or like Dahlia, are like very goofy in person. Dumb senses of humor. But I appreciate that they take, the one thing they do take seriously is their art and the way that they create it and convey it. My thing is, like, if you have nothing to offer the world besides the fact that you drank iced coffee today and you side eye me, then get out of here. That's it. That's the main thing. Coming up in the gay scene, I experienced a lot of like cattiness from, I mean, like I didn't get into the gay community until I started doing drag, because for a long time as like a person of color and a geek, I didn't feel like I had a place in the gay community. So that's why I kind of like really distanced myself from that kind of like catty behavior that kind of pushed me away from the gay community. I mean, we've all had, it's done. Catty white twinks are the you guys are the weakest link in our flag. So you guys are lucky to even have a stripe. No,
oh my God. So then what was your life like in the drag scene before Drag Race? Who were like your drag family? What were the gigs like?
So coming up in the drag scene, like before Drag Race, especially in the Bay Area, there's not too many like Drag Race girls out there. Our main claim to fame was Honey Mahogany, who hadn't been on the show for a couple of years. You know, when I got on, it had been like about 7 years from when she got on. So not much Bay Area representation on the show, which kind of meant for us that our scene wasn't necessarily fighting Drag Race, but San Francisco has always had a kind of knack for kind of pushing against popular culture. So when I started, I was doing gigs in clubs for maybe like started at 0. For the first 2 years, it stayed at 0 and only tips. Then I went to $20 for a gig, then 30. And by the time I got onto Drag Race, I was performing mostly at Heclina's bar. It's not Heclina's bar anymore in San Francisco, Oasis. And I was making maybe like $100 a performance with tips, which was in San Francisco. That was really, really good. I remember going to the club, doing Heclina's gig. I'd be like, oh my God, I made $100. I'll buy everyone here pizza or like whatever baller move I could do. I'd be like, I'm gonna get my own lift today, you know, or 5 hot dogs outside, like all for me. You guys ever have those hot dogs, the ones that are like on the little grill outside with the bacon and stuff like that?
Yes.
They are so good. You do not know how good those are until you perform in a club as a vegetarian and have to walk outside and smell those every time. Like when I finally started eating meat, the first thing I did was deep throat 2 of those hot dogs. Hot, raw, uncooked.
Not a cook girl.
You ever you don't eat uncooked hot dog? When I was growing up, we didn't have electricity.
Oh man.
We had the friction between our thighs and prayer. That was all we had to cook our food.
Then you could probably get a nice sear on that thing.
Yeah, I probably could now. I would overcook the hot dogs now.
It's burnt, bitch. It's burnt.
It's fully just powder. It's a concept now.
It's now a seasoning salt.
But yeah, before Drag Race, pretty much for me, it was like a lot of tip spots, a lot of small gigs. I didn't do any pageants. I didn't do too much Instagram drag. A little bit before Drag Race, I started uploading YouTube videos, which would get like maybe like 50 to 90 views max of me eating food.
Amazing.
I used to do mukbang videos called the tuck bang. So we would have like guests come on and then we would talk, because sometimes you work as a queen and you work so much for so little that you don't have time to hang out with your friends. The only time I had to hang out with my friends was when we were working. So I found a way to kind of put both together.
Mm-hmm. Bring
And
it back.
Bang.
Yeah, revive it.
I always feel like that YouTube era or that those YouTube videos that I did helped kind of get me onto the show, because it made me a little less nervous in front of the camera.
Mm-hmm.
You know, sometimes you get girls, they come on the show and they literally don't know how to talk to the camera because it's their first time. My suggestion to you guys is, if you really want to get on the show and be natural in front of the camera, is act like an idiot in front of a camera for a bit and just get rid of any shred of dignity that you possibly have before the show, so that you can be your unfiltered self on the show.
Mm-hmm. So
I
what
think
was
that's a
your
great piece of advice?
what was
you.
your audition process like? What was your angle?
I usually had like a blowjob angle, so it was like right above me, and then it would be like this, and then you could just see my nose and my eyes looking up. So I was like, yeah, you want this on the show? No. So I actually did most of my audition tape like very, very, very late. I did it in like maybe like 5 days. And I think it's important, if you do an audition tape, especially for Drag Race or something, do something that really like reflects your creative process. So mine is like, my creative process is like mad dash last few days or minutes or hours because of procrastination, but put all of your creative energy and manic spirit into it. So for my audition tape, I did, oh my God. I remember we have to do like 2 lip syncs, one to a RuPaul song and then one just like whatever lip sync that we decide to kind of throw in there and put together. I walked through the Castro and did a full 1 take of RuPaul's Kitty Girl. And for me, it was important to really display my city, San Francisco, before I got onto Drag Race, because a lot of people from San Francisco wanted to get on a Drag Race, and a lot of people like if you did get on, a lot would be writing on you. But for most of the audition process was maybe like, I would say I'm having a 5-hour energy drink right now, but I maybe butt chugged like 6 Red Bulls or something beforehand. Also, I had to film my boy interview 3 times.
Or
Kept getting drunk?
No, I don't. The funny thing is, people always think I'm drunk, but I don't drink.
nice.
At all?
No, my mom just was really into the Harlem Globetrotters as a child and just dribbled me. It was like, you're a basketball for 5 minutes. No. But so I did the interview, right? I did the interview twice because I thought if I do this interview twice, it'll get some of my good manic energy. I'll be prepared the second time for the question, so it seems more natural, less rehearsed, right? When I'm asked questions, I talk and talk and talk and go and go and go. And it's only like maybe 10 questions, and it took me like 30 minutes each time. So I was like maybe an hour to an hour and 15 minutes. And by the time I finished that, I realized my microphone was not plugged in. I had all of this video and no audio. So I was already on like my 4th Red Bull, and I was like, we have to do this. I chugged 2 more and just busted it out. And that was the interview. I feel like that really stuck with producers, because it kind of like really encompassed my manic energy all in one spot. If you guys are listening right now and you're interested in getting into Drag Race, like I said, do whatever is most authentic to you and your process or your drag character. For me, it was having that kind of like rush of madness during the interview process. But if you're more demure or you're more cool, then really just make yourself comfortable. Be your most authentic self. But be interesting. I mean, like not like be like me and have like firecrackers shooting out your pee hole or something. Like like find
a sounding.
No, but I do like the sound of that. No, my pee hole's so tight right now that whenever I climax, it's like a silenced shot.
That's the sound it makes.
Sorry, this is my phone right now. Hello? Sorry. No, I'm on a podcast right now talking about sounding. I can't talk right now. Okay, bye. Sorry, that was my pastor.
Oh. He'll understand.
But yeah, so don't be like, if you want to be interesting for the camera, you have to kind of figure out what makes you special, what makes you and interesting, and what makes you a good performer, what makes you an interesting person, and really hone in on that. Well, and if it's nothing, then put down the wig, put down the brush,
hang it up,
hang it up forever.
Get out of here,
He's
sis.
gone.
Well, I must say, I see it. I love watching the manic energy unfold. It was super fun to watch, and like super excited for you to come to Atlanta. So how are you spreading that around the world? What are you looking forward to? Like, what's some upcoming gigs that you can't wait for?
So I'm on YouTube. So
we
on
love
YouTube
the YouTube channel.
Oh, it's stupid, right?
It's so fun. I love that you're doing other girls' makeup like that.
Oh my God.
So silly, and I love it.
It's so hard. I don't know if you guys have ever tried doing another Ru Girls like makeup tutorial, but those people are crazy and they're bad at explaining things. I tell you, it's like following a tutorial in a different language, and half of these girls, they literally, half of their makeup is bone structure and contacts. So how's it gonna look like on my face? I look like Tom from Tom and Jerry just got hit with a pan, like a frying pan. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not gonna translate well, but we're gonna pray and hope it does. So yeah, I'm trying to bring that kind of energy into YouTube and TikTok, because before Drag Race, even now, my main source of entertainment is through YouTube videos and through TikTok. I always think it's important to, if you're going to make a lucrative career for yourself, or you're going to make a career for yourself in any way, do the things that you like to do. Don't do the stuff that people want you to do. Like if like people think that you have to come out with an album, people think that you have to come out with like a makeup line or something. Like, those are things that if you like doing them, then you will thrive and you will be so good at them. But do the things that you love, because that genuine attraction, that genuine spirit will resonate in whatever you're doing. And for me, it's making a fool of myself on YouTube. just completely desecrating my own brand. Being an idiot. Don't be afraid to be an idiot. Really, don't be afraid to be an idiot. My only advice is don't be racist.
Thank you
out there. You know specifically, if you have that inkling, like, am I racist? Double check yourself in the mirror before you leave. You know how that one saying goes, before you leave the house, take off one accessory. Before you leave the house, don't be a fucking racist, you stupid idiot. What the hell's the matter with you? And get vaccinated.
Period.
There you have it.
Only piece of
Rockham's
advice.
lips to your ear holes. How can people stay connected to you?
If you guys want to stay connected with me, I am on YouTube, TikTok, and Twitter and Instagram, all at Rockham Sakura. I also do Twitch streams some weeks. It's been a while. She's been busy.
She's busy. It's okay.
It's Rockham Sakura _ Desu, DESU. And last but not least, if you would like to see me in person, I don't post that stuff too often enough for you guys to see. So just pray and hope that I'm in a club near you.
Keeping it real. Oh my god.
She can't be bothered. We love it.
Well, I would suggest, if you do want to see me live, maybe just whisper my name into the air. And if I respond back, then I'm probably in your area.
Or look on Grindr, or say your name 5 times into a mirror.
Yeah. If the person on the other side of that glory hole is wearing lipstick, I might be performing at a local club.
Well, make sure you check next time y'all are at the local glory hole. And we can't thank you enough for sitting down with us in your beautiful room and your chair and your camera and having a chat with us, and just safe travels and best of everything as you continue to create and share your brand with the world.
Thank you so much for having me. I really, really appreciate. I love one of my favorite formats. Really, is just podcasts, because talking is fun and it's visual storytelling. And you guys can't see it right now, but half of our crew, half of our hosts right now are in cars, just out on the go.
She's busy.
5G. Good thing you got your microchip.
She's got 2 microphones and she's driving with her toes right now.
Well, one microphone is here. I'm
other is
not going to
internal.
tell you where the other one is.
Can you hear that heartbeat?
She said, this is the front.
If you're on the 405 and you see anyone on a microphone, you might just be on this podcast.
Oh my God. Well, we love you. And until next time, we sign off every session by saying, bye, Judy.
Goodbye, Judy. Goodbye. So nice to meet you, Judy.
Oh my God.